Top 10 most over-promising cars. Usually, we talk about luxurious cars, fast cars, and ones that give us great value for money. But have you ever thought about cars that overpromise and underdeliver? Well, that's what we're discussing today. Manufacturers sometimes release cars that aren't fully ready or pushed through with high expectations, only to disappoint. Today, we'll be talking about cars like the Aston Martin Vantage and even the Tesla Cybertruck. Yes. So let's dive in and see if they really live up to the hype, or not. 10 TCM/cc Dale. During the oil crisis, when most cars were getting just 11 miles per gallon, a company called TCM/cc promised a car that would get 70 miles per gallon. Naturally, the public was excited, and the Dale, a three-wheeled car with a motorcycle engine, seemed like the answer. Created by Dale Clift, he wasn't interested in mass production until Elizabeth Carmichael took over, making bold claims that anyone who paid would receive their car. However, it was all a scam. Despite investigations exposing the truth, people still believed her. The scandal ended when police attempted to arrest her, only to discover Elizabeth was actually a man with a history of fraud. 19 years later, he was caught in Dale, Texas, while no Dale cars were ever made. 9. Devil 16. When the Devil 16 debuted at the 2013 Dubai Auto Show, it was met with doubt. The design looked like something a kid made in a rush, and the claimed performance was insane. 1.6 seconds to 60 miles per hour, a 5,000 horsepower quad-turbo V16, and a top speed that seemed ripped from a video game. Then, a video surfaced proving the engine was real, built by Steve Morris, a drag racing engine expert. But let's be honest, 5,000 horsepower on the road is impossible. Even drag cars use direct drive systems, rebuilt after each run. In reality, Devil produced a 2,000 horsepower base model with a V8, because the buyer wanted it. Oh, and surprise, this car is made with C8 Corvette parts. The V16 version? Still nowhere to be seen. 8. Bugatti Tourbillon. The all-new Bugatti Tourbillon. The design promised to be completely new, but what's really new? The majority of the design elements are recycled. The truly fresh features can be counted on one hand. The hood opening, the doors, some ribs, and the exhaust integrated into the diffuser. Everything else feels familiar. The wider horseshoe comes from the Mistral. The headlight wings are inspired by Shinto, but reversed. The quad lamps, metal blades, and vertical wiper, all elements from the Chiron. The C shape is a blend of the Devo and Chiron. It's still impressive, but doesn't feel as revolutionary as expected. 7. Aston Martin Vantage. Parts sharing in the car world is all the rage now, but Aston Martin may have taken it a bit too far with the Vantage. They replaced one of the most iconic engine sounds with the overplayed AMG 4.0 V8. Because who needs originality, right? Sure, it's a strong engine, but it just doesn't have the soul the Vantage deserves. It's like dressing a supermodel in a corporate uniform. And if you're hoping for track performance, think again. It's no match for the AMG GT, which uses the same engine but does everything better. Aston Martin's upgrade feels more like a downgrade in disguise. 6. Volkswagen's Blue Sport. The VW Blue Sport was Volkswagen's attempt to create a rival for the Miata, sleek, mid-engined, 180 horsepower, and a 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Built on the MIMO chassis, middle motor, it was a German roadster that promised to fill the gap in the market. At the time, VW's track record was solid, having delivered the Phaeton XL1 and revived Bugatti, Lamborghini, and Bentley. Even Porsche and Audi were preparing their versions. But despite the hype, the Blue Sport never officially came to life. The last update came in 2015, with VW saying, "We're still working on it." And nothing since. 5. Lotus Eletre. Lotus's founder Colin Chapman once said, "Simplify, then add lightness." Apparently, someone forgot to pass that memo to the Eletre. Lotus, known for lightweight sports cars, decided to jump on the SUV and EV bandwagon with this heavy, awkward-looking electric SUV. At 4,400 pounds, it's more like a Tesla Model X's less graceful cousin, with straight-line speed being its only claim to fame. But here's the kicker. This SUV is priced like it's made of gold, $229,900. You're paying for the Lotus badge, not the performance. It's heavy, overpriced, and doesn't even handle like a proper Lotus. But hey, at least it looks different. 4. Mercedes-AMG C63 S E-Performance. The C63's biggest charm has vanished. It used to be the wild, loud German muscle car with smoky burnouts and a roaring V8. Sure, it never handled like a BMW M3, but that was part of its fun. Over time, Mercedes-AMG polished the C63, giving it better handling while keeping that beastly V8 growl. Now though, the V8 is gone, replaced by an inline-4 hybrid that delivers a technically impressive 671 horsepower. Here's the funny part. It's got more power, but it's way less exciting. Mercedes somehow packed in extra horsepower, but took away everything that made the C63 special, like the loud, wild fun we all loved. 3. Vector W8. The Vector W8, an ambitious supercar from the early 90s, claimed to hit 242 miles per hour with a 1,200 horsepower twin-turbo V8. Sounds impressive, right? The issue? It was over-ambitious for a startup with just 30 employees and a tiny budget. While some parts of the car were impressive, like its design, it was cursed by constant overheating and had a 3-speed automatic from the ancient Oldsmobile Tornado, a terrible choice for a supercar. The cooling system couldn't handle the power, and the gearbox was exposed to failure. As for the top speed, it was never properly tested, but calculations suggested it could only reach 214 miles per hour, not the promised 242. One even caught fire before delivery. 2 KDF Wagen. Before it became the iconic VW Beetle, the car was originally called the Kraft durch Freudewagen, a vision by Adolf Hitler to make the German people more mobile. It was affordable, practical, and engineered by Ferdinand Porsche. The idea was for ordinary families to save up for their own car through a stamp booklet, each stamp costing 5 marks. But here's the catch. None of the families who participated ever received their KDF wagon. Why? All the money collected was funneled into Hitler's military buildup, unknowingly funding the destruction of Europe. So in the end, the people's car never really was. 1. Tesla Cybertruck. The Tesla Cybertruck promised some pretty ridiculous features. Rain-clearing lasers instead of wipers? Really? And let's not forget the bulletproof windows that shatter on stage. The claim of extremely good build quality, with shut lines so tight the truck could float on water. The truth? It's a unibody construction like the Model Y, dressed in stainless steel. And while it's corrosion resistant, guess what? Small rust spots are still showing up. As for the specs, the price doesn't start at $39,900. You can seat 5, not 6, and the range? Only 400 miles. But at least it hits 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Because who doesn't need a speed demon truck, right? That's it for today. What do you think about these overhyped cars? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.